That's a fact. No question is a bad question. But I will say this, a dumb question is a dumb question.
Slow is smooth. Smooth is fast.
See, that slump and posture is a signal from the mind that the body's under a lot of pressure. You can continue doing that for week after week after week, and that it becomes habitual to the point where, like I mentioned earlier, you're just as soon as I get off of work, I go cop the butt, I roll up, I smoke, I watch TV. I gotta go to work tomorrow. That becomes a constant loop.
And a perfect example for me that I think of is like, no, I'm gonna leave it right there because I think you said it perfectly. That's a clip. That's beautiful. What's going on, guys? This is another episode of Two Times with your host Jeffrey. I'm here joined with my boy Alex.
How we doing, everyone? What's good, Jeffrey?
Appreciate you for coming.
Always.
I built up an introduction, so I'm gonna read the introduction and then we're gonna get to it. Everybody says they know people. Today's guest has built a career around understanding them. He's a massage therapist, life coach, and one of the calmest people I've ever met. He believes your body holds on to stress, your habits reveal your mindset, and your energy says more than your words ever could. So instead of doing a normal interview today, I've built up and compiled different type of segments where I'm going to ask him a series of questions or go through a little mini game. Let's get right to it.
That's a fact. No question is a bad question. But I will say this, a dumb question is a dumb question. So let's just keep it at that. No question is a bad question, dog. Ask anything. Just, let's keep it realistic.
So how you feeling? How you feeling coming on here today, bro? I know we've been scheduling this and thinking about doing this for a minute now. So before we even get into all the segments, I want to get to like thought process and like we finally here, like we finally doing it type shit. So
that's a fact, though. I'm not gonna lie, I'm nervous as shit. This is actually like
I can feel that.
Yeah, it's like the first time, and like I said, I wanted to come into this blind, like I wanted to go on this adventure, just do. That scares you. So that's kind of why I'm doing
Take the lead.
Exactly. Follow the drum in your heart. Like, a lot of people just close that shit off, and it's like, they can feel lost, like they can't see it, but when they listen, see, that's the rambling part.
No, go ahead.
I'm just rambling.
Go ahead, wrap it up. Okay, so we'll leave it at that. But you saying you was nervous and shit. I did want to say something about that. I was watching a show called Nemesis. I don't know if y'all, it's on Netflix. Yo, the way Nemesis ended at the end, if y'all watched it, really blew my eyes. Because I thought it was going to be a one season show and it really ended up being more than that. But I'm not even going to spoil it. Y'all should watch Nemesis. It's on Netflix. Free promotion right there. But one quote that I got from Nemesis that I really liked was that slow is smooth, smooth is fast. And that just stuck with me. Like, I don't know, like that just really, really stuck with me in all aspects of life. Like, you know how when you're anxious, like that's a mantra right there that I started using. Like, slow is smooth, smooth is fast. You know what I'm saying? So like when I'm trying to go too fast and I bump out and I trip, that's not smooth. You feel what I'm saying? So like it's kind of like a mantra that I've recently added to my routine and shit that I felt the need to compare or share right now. But yeah, before we start, I guess the first segment.
Can I say something on that, though?
No, go ahead. My fault. Go ahead.
You know when they say that slow is smooth? Basically, when you trip, see how you catch yourself without even thinking?
Mm-hmm.
That's because for a second, time just slows down. Because if you fall, you potentially getting hurt, so your body just takes initiative. It's faster. That's what they mean by slow is fast. Your body's faster than your mind. Your mind didn't know what the fuck it just tripped on. But your body was like, this foot goes in front so I don't fall on my face.
And instead we don't even think about gangsta. It's just ingrained. And it's funny because it's not like we grew up knowing these things. We had to learn how to walk. None of us knew how to walk off the rip. We was crawling and shit. So like, that makes perfect sense. I'm not even gonna lie. Before our brain was even fully developed, our body had to know how to survive on its own type shit, in a way.
Exactly. And that's exactly where we used to live, but as time goes on, we escape from here and just live in here.
Man, we don't get into that. So before we start, you're a massage therapist. You know, obviously you're familiar with like body language and analyzing the body. That comes with the whole territory. Based on my body language, we've been chilling for like about an hour or two now before even all this started. What would you say my type of week was like based on my body language?
Productive. I definitely say challenging. but not in a challenging way, like in a depressing way, honestly, in a way that promotes growth.
Okay.
Those are the challenges that I primarily focus on. Whenever I say challenges, I don't mean anything that does not promote growth.
And what makes you say that? What gave that away for you, body language wise?
Just your posture, how you're sitting, and how you're handling yourself right now. Like, I've known you for a year. You know what I mean? Like, I remember that when I cracked your back, how you had a sponge.
Yeah.
See, that slump in posture is a signal from the mind that the body's under a lot of pressure. Like right now, this is heavy on my back, and it feels like there's a weight.
You're talking about when it was Simba's birthday party, and it was at that spot, and everybody was waiting for their food and shit. And I was laying down, or not laying down, but I was resting on the table.
No, it was when we was playing ball the first time.
Word, I don't even remember that.
And you remember? Yeah, remember I kept telling you, like, your energy kept changing and shit. It was so different versions of you on the court too. So that's why I'd be calling you like fucking Super Saiyan when you went to flow state.
Nah, yeah, that's a fact.
And then it's like when you get tight, it's like you snap out of it, and then you start criticizing yourself, and it only adds to that weight. And I can
didn't
see
even know you
that
saw
through the
that
posture.
side. That's interesting.
Yeah, it's through the posture. I learned that through going to school actually. They taught us how to assess posture, look for different like muscle groups that may be stronger on one side, cause an imbalance.
Okay.
But it's kind of like I didn't see shit when we first started, but after they pointed it out, it's like you could never unsee it.
That makes sense. I get that. Nah, that's mad interesting, bro. I'm not gonna lie. Okay.
Was that like kind of like spot on?
Yeah, I'm actually glad you asked that. Yeah, I would say so. Yeah, I definitely feel like I'm carrying a lot of stress, and I've had like lower body pain recently, type shit too. Lower back pain. I've been feeling like my body's like a little imbalanced. I need to get in the gym and like start lifting again for sure. Because I've been hooping and running and shit, but I haven't really been lifting. So that's how I feel. So we're gonna do a segment called Coaching a Stranger. You said you wanted to be. You're currently a life coach. You just started your website. You told me in the Uber too that you just got your first client. I wanna congratulate you.
Oh my God.
And it's only more to come, gang. More to come. That's a fact. So I want to put you through a series of different questions that like a potential customer, a potential client, whatever you can call them, may ask you and through the first call, and how your response would be in like 45 seconds. I bet. So let's get into the coaching a stranger. So example one. I'm 27. I feel behind in life. Everyone seems so ahead of me. What would be your first response?
Well, my first response, honestly, would be to just stay quiet. The reason being is because it allows them to sit with that thought. And once they realize how silly that thought is, they're immediately going to want to say something in a more positive note. Whether it's the most obvious question, how's your day? Or what you've been up to? Or they'll change it to something we're about to do later, like the Knicks game. By them expressing more and using subtle tones when they say certain things, like, fuck, I was hooping. See, I'm excited to play ball, right? But then I got a call. But it's nothing crazy. A normal person would be like, oh, it's nothing crazy. But for me, I hear that subtle tone and I'm like, that wasn't a good call. Like something with that call took him from, I'm hooping, bro, come through, to, you still coming through.
So what do you feel like? How do you feel life coaches provide value? What is the value of a life coach?
So to me personally, I won't speak on any other life coach because I have no idea what their intentions are. But to me personally, it's about personal growth. That's all it is. And it's because we sometimes try new things, fail at them, and immediately point at ourselves that we're the problem. When in reality, we're never the problem. The problem isn't you, it's the strategy you've been applying.
So do you say that for you personally, you help people build strategies to help accomplish their goals, their whatever they have in mind, uh, their desire set to.
Absolutely, but I try to aim on a deeper level because we tend
Also,
how so? We tend to set goals on things that'll make us happy. But have you ever sat down with yourself and asked yourself, why do I even want to do these things? Other than that's fire to make me happy, it's fun.
that's a good question.
You know, like, is there a sense of fulfillment when you work your ass off? When you book that ticket, when you actually spend time over there, is there a sense of fulfillment or purpose? Because that creates a completely different experience rather than going through it blindly like I just booked a ticket, you know?
So, for example, how would you give someone? How would you go about giving someone those tools? Like, is it by person basis? Do you personally have different strategies when it comes to life coaching that you have already built? When it comes to different type of personalities, maybe even gender, maybe even culture. Um, what are you? Yeah, I'll let you answer that.
So I've always been a social butterfly, especially in high school, like the anime group, the fighting group. My favorite was the fighting group.
Yeah.
Me and Laz.
They wanted to spar before this, so I'm definitely.
I had jitters. Y'all
Yes,
never
it
done
was.
this before. It was, you know, but I've always been a part of every group, the sneaker group. They always put me on to new sneakers that were coming out. So it was like I was always cool with everybody. Like I never saw the bad in people. You know, like obviously there are bad people, but rather than judge them, I'm on the other side of the block. You just do you. I'm not even worried about it. You know? Fuck, can we edit this and like repeat the question real quick?
I don't even remember when I asked. Well, I kind of do. Look how to edit it. This is gonna be the raw like full tape, so you good. Don't worry about it. In a sense of like life coaching, do you have different strategies when it comes to culture, gender, and like stuff like that? Like differences between people, even when it comes to personality type. A more anxious person, would you go about that differently
Okay,
than a more
I see what
avoidant
you're
person?
saying. The question is more aimed on diversity, right?
Yeah,
Perfect. That's why I got lost. I'm so sorry.
now you good.
But diversity is a very big thing for me because one thing about politics that I disagree wholly and truly is I feel like we should all have different opinions. And it should never be taken personal because at the end of the day, I don't know how the fuck you grew up. You have your own belief system. So for me to want my opinion to conquer yours is something that just don't sit right with me. So so it's like, you know, I always try to hang around different groups. Shit, last year I went to a Pride concert. That shit was fire.
Word.
So, yup, for the first time, that shit was fire.
I believe it. So how would you go about that with a client then? Like when you're giving them advice, like
Even though we go about life like, oh, I like this or I'm like this, when it comes really down to it, we're all the same. We're just into different things, but we're all the same.
yeah,
Like deep down, we all want to be seen, we all want to be loved, and we don't want to be judged. You know? And
because no one's better than the other.
that's it. You know, and no one's ahead of nobody. You
We're on our
are
own journey.
on
That's
your
a
own
fact.
journey.
That's a fact.
You
No,
know?
no need to compare.
And
Especially where you don't compete. Hello.
hello. It's at your own time. It's called divine timing, bro. That's why we're
Yeah.
here now. You know, and for some people, they may seem ahead, but for them, that's where their journey ends.
So this is the perfect segue to the question I was gonna ask before the next segment. What is one piece of advice that you would give to the modern like generation? I would say like 21 to 25, 27, my age type shit. Age frame. What's like the biggest advice you would give them from your observation? Mind you, he's around, you're 30,
I'm 32.
32. A 32-year-old man. Kids.
32-year-old man.
Father, I should say father. I should have put that in the
Babies.
introduction, father.
Indian Adonis, baby.
Yeah.
Honestly, it's just stop comparing. That's one of the biggest things, and social media doesn't really play a good part in that either. You feel me? Like, I would use social media periodically because I use it with intention for entertainment. I don't use it to see what people do in Italy because in the mind it doesn't know. If it sees Italy, it's gonna see that person. You're gonna get that emotional charge that you're experiencing it. So now you're experiencing it from a different person. You're dissociating from your own reality. And now when you come back to it, when you get a surge of dopamine, it needs to be countered so that way, you remain human. Like, you don't want to see a fucking puppy get hit and you're like, no. So the brain naturally needs to balance, but you got a false sense of dopamine. There was no fulfillment behind it. There was no action. It was like a junkie just taking a dose.
Yeah.
But then he comes down and he crashes.
Different forms of drugs, yeah.
And when we come down, that's where those intrusive thoughts come in. And that's the harm in social media, in my opinion. And then when people compare, when they go out, they're so self-centered that they're not even focused on the old lady that just wants to say hi, because they're like, oh my God, people are staring at me, and they're so in their head and out of their body that they're just trying to go from point A to point B. Case in point, like if you ask anybody who's on their way to work, what did you see today? They're going to tell you nothing. The train, the car, I don't know. That's because they're already in their mind at work. They're no longer in their body.
Already mentally preparing themselves for what's ahead.
Yes.
Yeah. And draining it so much that it's taken away from the present moment. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Nah, you were spinning, I ain't gonna lie, for sure. Yeah. So what do you think we're really chasing? If you feel like we're all the same, like, what do you think we're really here for?
To be honest, and I know this because I went through it too, we're just chasing validation. Because in a world of social media, and I've experienced this personally, I've met multiple people on social media, but then when we hang out, it's like, there's no person there. It's just that persona from social media, but there's no actual person. There was no depth, there was no conversation. It was just awkward, And
I know exactly what you mean. A lot of people don't have hobbies. A lot of people.
Yeah, and that human interaction, it's not that they're being awkward because they want to be.
Yeah.
It's because everything is distant. I can talk to you from my phone. Now seeing you in person, it's a different experience because now I can feel you.
And a lot of people choose the easier way because it produces less anxiety. They feel like they have more control over it, but they don't realize that they're missing out on all the social cues, the body language, the real experience.
Human experience,
yes,
yeah.
Exactly, yes.
So when they're feeling all these energies, they're like, oh, this shit is all new. I got anxiety. It's not anxiety. You've just never been exposed or taught about this creative energy building up inside of you.
And even if you did intellectually, you could be the most intellectual person about all that, but once you get into the field, your body still has to get you, your nervous system still has to get used to that. Being around different energies, not internalizing all those different energies, you know what I'm saying? How to get accustomed to that, because you can meditate, you could do your breath work, then go outside, and you're surrounded by negativity. How do you handle that? Do you have, you know what I'm saying? Like whether it is to remove yourself or if you can't remove yourself, how do you handle that while being in that space? Are you the change that you want to see in the world? And stuff like that. Yeah, I think not only people think, like, it's all interconnected. Like when people think selfishly, like intellectually, they also think selfishly, spiritually, and like almost in a human level, if that makes any sense. Like some people feel like they're like when they have high energies, the other people are gonna bring you down, but no one can ever bring you down. I don't feel like I firmly believe that. I feel like no one can ever bring you down.
There's truth behind that because the only one who actually brings you down is you.
Yeah.
Because
and how you see things.
If someone calls you a piece of shit today and it hurts.
But even if you was having a bad day, for example, like even if I'm saying, for example, if you was having a bad day and you came to me like, yo, bro, I'm having a bad day, that I kind of vent to you, like you, and I had the greatest day, like you saying that to me isn't gonna make my day any worse. Like if anything, it's like the universe putting you in my line for me to give you the abundance of energy I have. Like it's abundance. That energy comes, that flows. Like it's just because I give you good energy doesn't mean like, oh, you stole it from me. Like it's an abundance of it. It just goes to show people's mindsets when it comes to scarcity or abundance. And if you think in scarcity and energy, then you're definitely thinking scarcity in the physical world. Mm-hmm. So that's how I look at it, type shit.
And that's how it stems, like, because if you're thinking scarcity, it shows in the physical world. It literally shows. You could be making $1,000 and paying $50 in rent and being like, a scarcity mindset and then blow your entire paycheck, and by Thursday you broke.
Yeah.
And then you can continue doing that for week after week after week, and that it becomes habitual to the point where, like I mentioned earlier, you're just, as soon as I get off work, I go cop the butt, I roll up, I smoke, I watch TV, I gotta go to work tomorrow. That becomes a constant loop. So that's usually how it manifests itself in self-sabotage when we have a scarcity mindset, because the mind is like, I'm not a liar. If you're telling me that we're scarce, so be it. Then go smoke. We don't need it. We're broke. It's going to create that reality for you.
Exactly.
And the emotion that you feel when you think these thoughts, that's what backs that reality. That's what molds the reality for you. Because now the emotion is moving you.
Mm-hmm. And a perfect example for me that I think of is like, no, I'm gonna leave it right there 'cause I think you said it perfectly. That's a clip. That's beautiful. I ain't gonna lie. I did want to talk about. We did talk about a lot about people that don't have much depth, in a sense, currently at least portrayed to us, are comfortable showing their depth, I should say. I do want to talk about more like green flags. Like, what are green flag in the sense that when you see a people, you meet a person, and you could tell that they've done the inner work, some type of inner work. You know what I'm saying? Where like y'all are aligned, but it's not spoken. It's more like an energetic type of energy observation type of thing.
Yeah.
What is something that just naturally comes to your mind, especially since you're, the background that you have in your careers?
So it all comes on like, well, we tend to judge each other like really fucking fast. So it all comes down to that first impression. Like whatever you're giving off in that millisecond of which they lay eyes on you, that's the impression you leave on their mind. Like their mind will literally decode your posture, you're this, you're that, and they will judge you before they even know it. So I'm trying to figure out how to answer that question. Like, what was the question exactly?
Green flags that you see that you can spot on a person that you feel has done like the inner work,
Right.
spiritually.
So, all right. So that, to decide who's done the inner work and you deem them to be enough is a analysis on your own part. That has to do with your own standards, which is how it should be. We should be selfish in who we allow in our circle because we're a product of that.
Yeah.
You know, that's perfect. But when it comes to like energy, it's all about the first impression, to a degree, because it doesn't matter if the person's in a good or bad mood. Like if we click, we click. It happens naturally, you know. It's just when we chase that validation, we want to click with everybody, and then we force it, and it's like
You start morphing yourself to
and then that's when that self-negative talk comes in, because now you're putting two magnets that don't stick together, and you're causing friction. Like you're not setting that proper boundary of who you allow in your circle, you know. So
Then way to bounce around the question.
nah, it's because it's like this is the process, right? It's because when you ask me a question, it's like one question, but then it's like another question that has to do with another case. So it's like I'm trying to keep track of like one, I answered that. Two, kinda answered that. Fuck, what was three? You know what I mean?
I know what you mean.
But it's like I'm searching from within to say this, so it's like I'm trying to find, like, remember how I summed up that question before?
Yeah.
About like involving multiple cultures, variety, like niggas is flavors.
Diversity of like, culture and stuff like that.
Diversity, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, you know, when we summed up that question, it was about diversity, and I was able to give you like an exact, like, that's how I feel about diversity. Like, you know, it's really.
So basically, your answer is like it depends on your level of like alignment and standards and stuff like that. That's your answer. Like you answered the question, honestly.
Yeah.
Like you good?
Okay, cool.
Yeah. So before I get into the last question, I do want to ask a more personal question that I really want you to like take your time in a sense. Kind of like, honestly, I want you to close your eyes right now and kind of just like visualize yourself in a blank space. Like, can you do that for me real quick? Just visualize yourself in a blank space, and I want you to remove any type of barriers. Every barrier, you're in a free blank white space. free of like to your will. Now I want you to move forward a year from now. I want you to think what that looks like with no restrictions. Best case scenario, just what your heart tells you, what you want. I want you to think on that. I want you to sit on that feeling for the next 10 seconds. Just sit on that feeling. Imagine how that feels like, how, everything, all the great feelings, all that. Okay. Now I want you to take a second, keep your eyes closed, take a breath. I want you to remove everything. It's back to a white space. Now I want you to imagine a year from now, worst case scenario. If you don't do anything, if you don't do the things everything that you just imagined, you don't do, it doesn't go your way, and even worse than that, I want you to imagine that. I want you to embody the feelings that comes with that for the next 10 seconds. Okay. Take your time. Whenever you're ready, I would love to hear about the experience.
Off rip. Off rip, can we run this back and redo this? I feel like I'm ready for like, and we can do it. If you with the shits.
What you mean? Like another episode? Dude, we're gonna be done.
Another take, like.
Nah, let's just get running it. You good, bro?
Oh, that's right, we can edit and shit, right?
Yeah. Take your time.
No, I'm ready.
Whenever you're ready to speak.
Oh,
About your experience, yeah.
Tell you about the
Let's start off with the bad since that's the last one, and then we'll go to the good.
The bad, funny enough, is that I kept moving out of a scarcity mindset and self-limited beliefs, and it left me homeless.
That's real.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a real, possibility for any of us, honestly. Like, a lot of people are one check away from that. 1 bad month, 2 bad months.
One bad self-sabotage to, really fulfill that destiny I am.
Yep. And if not, if you are able to last longer, you're consistently putting yourself in a hole through that to keep yourself, But what about the good?
The good is that honestly, I reached out to a whole bunch of people, man, and they thanked me for changing their lives. And I guess whatever success comes with it. Because for me, it's not really about the money, but as everybody tells me, I have a family they gotta eat. It is what it is. The world goes round. But I try to make sure that people get their value and the lives that they want within that journey. And I don't want y'all to go through it alone. Because it's easy to walk through that dark cave with somebody who you trust. That's just how I see it.
That's a fact.
That's the good. I saw a bunch of people just telling me.
You an older sibling?
Life.
So I know what you
Of 3.
nigga of me I'm 17, but
Damn.
7 I lived with, yeah.
Yeah,
So I know how it feels to have to go through that alone type shit in a lot of different areas of my life.
And going through shit alone ain't bad though. It gives you a lot of
It builds
introspective.
character.
Yeah, it gives you a lot of introspective.
Yeah, that too.
What the fuck it is to actually be human
And honestly, I don't think I can't say that I did it alone. Like there's necessary times in the journey where it will be alone, and in a sense, no one was there when I was clocking in. No one was there when I was doing learning this, learning that. Cool, granted, that's no one's supposed to be there. That's inner work. But in the sense of I'm a combination of all of my mentors, all of the people that have inspired me and that I've looked up to and that I look up to this day. It's a combination, and then that's me. And also, there's parts of me that I guess I don't like that are from people. You know what I'm saying? Not really, honestly, not for me.
The nonchalantness. See,
but,
that's the self-limited belief right there. You believed what you said first, but then you played it in your head and you realize how silly it is. You're aware.
I guess I was just being too.
No, it's natural. You're free, but those are the little things that I pick up in tone. And I don't know why. I just pick it up, but it's you're aware of whatever that was, whatever that negative talk was. You're already aware of it, but you haven't taken the action to completely just get rid of it. It's all in your head.
You're right.
And on a good day, it's a good image. But on a bad day, it's a real bad image.
I see what you're saying.
And that causes this weight, this pressure. Going back to the beginning.
Now you're right, and you just changing the body language is completely, it's a different tone of it too.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. I guess to leave it off, like, if this was your last message to the world, like publicly, ever speaking to someone, what would you say? Shit, if this is your last episode back on here, you don't ever come back on the show, what would you want to leave it off on?
I'm sweating my melon. Like, I'm hot. And this shit scared the shit out of
Is
me.
she a fire? Nah.
That's a fact, bro. We close. But honestly, doing this interview scared the shit out of me. But I did it anyway because it's part of my self-growth. And one thing about me is that I don't feel it's right for anybody to give somebody advice who isn't putting in the work. It's hypocritical. It's not authentic. Like, shit. I could tell you I've been through some shit. But I can't tell you I'm not going to be selfish and gatekeep the knowledge that I've gained through going through the tribulations that I have. You feel me? Like, really, I'm just here to spread the knowledge because I feel like people just gotta know what the fuck it is to even be themselves, not this persona. Like, you're not this version of you in your mind because it could change at any instant.
Yes, bro, you're preaching.
You know? So it's more about when you mention something about a kid and learning how to walk, you don't even have this yet. You're just fully in your body experiencing life. Every moment is a moment. Every breath is a breath, like a brand new breath. It's only once we get exposed to certain structures and structural archetypes, like school, for example. You have your teacher. She's the boss. She tells you what to do when you do it. Sometimes you even gotta fucking raise your hand. If she tells you no, you gotta fucking sit there.
Yeah.
You know, then you take that.
Conforming to society rules and standards and shit.
It's not so much conforming, it's conditioning, which is even deeper. Because conforming is bending your will.
Mm-hmm.
You know, this is more under the radar. Like, this is conditioning. This is where psychology plays.
Yeah.
Because now when you get a job, if your boss tells you, listen, you can't go to the bathroom yet because we have a line, just stick to the line. Instantly, without even knowing, it's going to remind you of that teacher that conditioned you to follow the leader. And your instincts are going to tell you to stay. Well, your mind is going to tell you to stay while your instinct is telling you to flip this thing off and go pee. That's the image that paints in everyone's head. I don't give a fuck. If you tell me I can't pee, nigga, I gotta pee. You know? But that's the image that plays in our head right away. That's our body.
I think this is the perfect time to end this here. I do have one more thing to say after I end it, but I want to appreciate you for coming, bro. Much love. Pleasure for having you.
This was a challenge.
Definitely next time for next season, we're gonna have a longer episode and it'll be right. And it'll be a recap of this because also like, you know, get to chop it up about where you at, talk more in depth about the massage part of shit in the body. And yeah, bro, there's just so much avenues and different directions that you're at, so it would take forever to, you know what I'm saying, get through all of them. But I do appreciate you for coming. It was a great conversation. I hope you guys got some value out of it, some entertainment at the very least. And
something, man.
Yeah, this is also gonna be my Streamer U application, and this is exactly why I should be accepted, because it's not just about me. I think Streamer U should turn into Streamer Us, because without a community, without the fan base that helps you grow, the people that help you watch and that reshare your stuff, that comment, that support you through your content, even when it's not the best quality. You see, I wrote this down on a notepad. Like, I don't have cards. You do what you can. So I understand community. I understand that it's more about you and it's about us. So this is my application for Streamer U. More than just a content creator, more than just a streamer, but I'm definitely both of those things.
We're here to show you the process, guys.
Knicks and 5, by the way,
Let's
too. We
go.
lit tonight. Yeah. Yes, sir. All right. Thank y'all for watching. This is Jeffrey. This is TwoTimes. Peace.